Hello.
Hi.
It's no secret that as Americans, as a whole, all of us, we don't save any money. And a survey from Bankrate.com just showed that 52% of Americans report that they have nothing invested in the stock market. A Gallup poll showed that that number is even worse for people 18 to 29 years old, who only 26% said that they have anything invested in the stock market.
This is particularly disappointing because, as we talked about in our Why Don't They Teach This in School video, your early 20s are the most lucrative time for you to be investing. Survey after survey shows that most Americans would not even be able to pay a $1,000 emergency expense without having to fall back on their credit cards, let alone fund a retirement account.
Side note, we do specifically use the word survey because these are not scientific journaled studies. These are just surveys by websites, and we use them to illustrate particular trends, not necessarily specific facts. And that trend is, as a whole, we need help saving money.
What inspired this video was a law that passed in the United Kingdom that addresses this exact issue. It requires every single employer to automatically enroll their employees into a what?
Optional defined contribution plan. In other words, it'd be like if the government forced every single company in the United States, big or small, to not only provide a 401k plan for their employees, but also automatically enroll them and match their contributions. You might be saying, well, that's not really that big a deal. Most people already have 401ks anyway. Well, actually, no. Only 14% of small businesses offer 401k plans to their employees, and the majority of Americans are actually employed by small businesses, or close to the majority. I think it's like 50%.
What we think is most interesting, and what we want to talk about, is that although employees in the UK can opt out at any time, they're showing that 90% are sticking with it, and we think that there are two reasons for that.
The first is a motivational hurdle, which I think a lot of people have trouble overcoming, which is simply just going to your HR department or filling out a form or creating an account online so that you can participate in your employer's retirement plan. And even if those things only take 5 minutes, the fact is most people will never do them. The nice thing about the UK program is you're automatically enrolled as soon as you're hired.
Second, it removes the fear of the unknown. What fund should I choose? What is a fund? Isn't it risky to invest in the stock market? Those are all psychological hurdles that most people don't want to confront.
Now, I know it's a subtle detail, but I think the automatic enrollment is what is the key to this 90% success rate. Because sometimes if you choose to invest in your retirement plan, it's irrational, but it can sometimes feel like you're losing money. You have money at the beginning of the month, and then at the end you can't spend it. It's invested in your future, but you can't see it right now.
Particularly when you have more urgent uses for the money, say a car payment, a mortgage, your phone bill.
In fact, there's a lot of evidence that suggests it's not a lack of self-control that keeps people from saving money. It's a lack of attention towards the future.
It seems like that program in the UK removes the lack of attention from the equation and makes it more difficult to not invest than to invest.
Our intentions for this video when we started it was to start a discussion about whether we think the government should be involved in our finances and force us to save for retirement. But after doing all the research for this thing, it seems pretty cut and dry to me. If you have the option of opting out, this is a win-win. Like the program in the UK, I'm all in favor of.
And don't forget, we already have a forced retirement plan in the US called Social Security. Around 8% of your paycheck goes to it, and then your employer is required to match that.
Just how much we'll receive of that when our generation retires is still very much unknown. But it's clear to me that if we look at it just on a personal level, I definitely don't want the government involved and forcing me to save for retirement because clearly we can do a better job than they can.
But removing ourselves from the equation and thinking about society as a whole, we need some help.
And at the end of our lives, someone is going to have to pay for all those people who didn't prepare for retirement, and it's probably going to be the ones who did. So I guess we are in favor of government intervention. I don't know, it's hard, it's a lot to process. But we want to know what you guys think, and we want to know what are we missing in this equation, and particularly how do you feel about it as an employee versus a business owner? For you small business owners out there, how would you feel about being forced to create 401k programs for every one of your employees, no matter how small your company? Let us know in the comments below. Bye guys.
Bye.